social worker here. If you wanted to know what the latest was with SNAP benefits, the president has personally gone and sent a memo to all grocery stores that were offering small discounts to those SNAP and EBT recipients. While we wait for SNAP benefits to be restored, he sent a memo to all the grocery stores in the U.S. that they're not allowed to do that and they have to stop that immediately. That's our current administration. He also is ignoring the fact that two, not one, but two federal judges ordered that SNAP benefits need to be restored immediately, that it is unlawful. He said he couldn't understand the language the federal judges used. It was Dick and Jane language of do it by this date, pronto, immediately. So, in short, this is outright cruelty. It's disgusting, and this is our current government trying to starve its own citizens. If you're not outraged, you should be by now.
So the Trump administration has just sent out a very, very stark warning to all of the grocery stores in America, basically threatening them and threatening any organization that tries to offer help to food stamp recipients that may be going hungry right now. There was a document sent out this morning because apparently they are more concerned about big box grocery stores and local pantries giving things and allowing discounts for people who may otherwise not have the money, that they sent out this document stating that they could face federal repercussions and regulations if they give discounts to food stamp recipients or people who otherwise might not be able to get food. They sent out what they called a retailer's notice saying that authorized retailers must comply with the SNAP equal treatment rule. Mind you, they're not receiving SNAP right now, so they're picking and choosing what parts of SNAP to use. We're not going to use the SNAP contingency fund for these people, but you do, as a retailer, have to still follow the guidelines, even though those SNAP benefits are not being used to put any guidelines in. It says you must offer eligible food at the same prices and on the same terms and conditions to SNAP EBT customers as other customers, except the sales tax cannot be changed on SNAP's purchases. You cannot treat SNAP EBT customers differently than any other customer. And offering discounts on services, it could be a violation to SNAP equal treatment waiver. Besides the fact that private companies can do whatever the fuck they want, I will remind you, if they're not receiving SNAP benefits, they are not beholden to your SNAP equal rights. And they really think Fox News and like all these news stations are like trying to make black people the face of this, and it's not black people. So y'all do with that information as you want, but this administration is more concerned about proving a point and keeping people hungry to the point where they're telling people do not allow certain individuals to get discounted food or donate to food pantries. It's crazy.
The Trump administration is threatening grocery stores with losing the ability to accept SNAP and EBT benefits if they offer discounts to individuals that receive SNAP and EBT benefits, even as the Trump administration's only going to pay a partial payment this month, and then only because a federal judge demanded that they do it and found them withholding these payments were illegal. So the Trump administration today, according to Newsweek, began sending out emails to grocery store chains across the country saying, hey, if you offer any discounts to SNAP and EBT individuals, well, you'll lose your right to accept SNAP and EBT payments under the equal treatment rule, which requires grocery stores to charge the same amount of money to SNAP and EBT recipients as it does anybody else. But that doesn't matter if they're not using their SNAP and EBT card. A grocery store could, in theory, offer a discount for individuals who receive SNAP benefits but aren't using them. But the Trump administration says, no, if you do that, you will lose access to the EBT payment system. They're being cruel for the sake of being cruel. They're harming people for the sake of harming people. They're doing it for political gain, thinking it will pressure Democrats into reopening the government when Democrats want to. They want to negotiate. Remember, Republicans are the ones that are refusing to negotiate with Democrats. They're being cruel to American citizens instead of doing their jobs.
Okay, the Trump administration is now emailing grocery stores telling them they can't offer discounts to SNAP-eligible Americans that can't afford food right now, since Donald Trump is refusing to fund SNAP benefits. So over 30 days ago, the government shut down. And because of that, on November 1st, the Department of Agriculture ran out of money to keep food stamps going. And 41 million Americans lost their SNAP benefits, including 13 million children. Now, in response to this, the Trump administration could have taken emergency funding from Congress to keep these SNAP benefits running, to stop 41 million Americans from starving. Did they? Absolutely not. And because of that, groceries have started to offer discounts to those SNAP-eligible Americans that are no longer receiving benefits to help them during this hard time. The Trump administration saw grocery stores doing this and said, hell no, they're not allowed to eat, and told the grocery stores to stop. Now, if you're wondering why the Trump administration has the authority to tell these grocery stores to stop, it's because SNAP-eligible grocery stores have to comply with the equal treatment rule, which means they can't sell their products at a discounted rate to SNAP-eligible Americans. Now, the point of this rule is to prevent SNAP-eligible Americans from using their SNAP benefits to buy goods that are already at a discounted rate, not to prevent grocery stores from giving them a helping hand in a time where the federal government is failing to fund their SNAP benefits because it's shut down. Anyways, that's it for now. This is very cruel, but very expected from somebody like Trump.
Y'all, Donald Trump said that he is not going to fund the SNAP program, even though a federal judge told him he had to. Let's talk about it. If you're new here, my name is Crystal. I am a social worker and a caseworker. I have been working in the social service field for over 10 years. I also worked at the SNAP EBT welfare office for over 6 years. I have processed hundreds of SNAP cases, and here's an update on the president defying a federal judge's order saying that he is not going to fund the SNAP program for the month of November. So as we all know, 25 states sued the administration to get them to fund SNAP benefits for the month of November. A federal judge agreed with the 25 states, and on Monday, November 3rd, she issued an emergency order demanding that the Trump administration use the emergency fund to fund SNAP benefits for the month of November. Well, today, November 4th, the president came out and said he's not going to do that. He said that he is not going to listen to the judge, and he is not funding SNAP for the month of November, even though a federal judge told him that he had to. So initially they said that they were going to fund the SNAP program at 50%, and that was yesterday. And now today he's saying, like, actually, I'm not funding it at all. I don't want to. I don't know what this president is doing or how this shit is even legal. They took him to court. The judge told him that he had to do it, and now he's saying he's not listening to the judge. So I don't know what steps they can take if he's not going to listen to judges. I don't know what's next for this.
The government finally decided that they're going to feed the public for this government shutdown who has the SNAP benefits. The bad thing about this is they're saying that this could take weeks or months until you get the SNAP benefits from this emergency fund. That's also only going to be half the payment. Some people might even get their SNAP benefits in December or maybe after Thanksgiving. And it's also going to be half the payment that you normally get. People that have these benefits, they might have to go a full month without food. And then that's even if the government reopens, because that's all the money that's in that account for SNAP benefits. So if the government does not reopen next month, there's nothing else. There's nothing left. If you're a person that physically cannot work, what are they expecting you to do? I wasn't expecting this in 2025 at all.
So just as quickly as it was announced that SNAP benefits would be payable through the contingency benefits and that people were expected to at least receive half of their benefits, guess what? That's null and void. He just announced on Truth Social that he will not be issuing SNAP benefits, not even contingency benefits, until the Democrats, quote unquote, reach a deal with him. Basically, it's all or nothing. So he wants everything or nothing at all. What's crazier is that Republicans don't even know that their health insurance is going up. They completely ignore every part of how this will impact them just so they can say that, ha ha ha, we won it's like a football game to them. It's like a game of basketball. Like, this isn't a sporting event. This is people's lives. So in order for him to release benefits, the Democrats are going to have to agree to whatever it is that's in that deal, which I know what it is, but I'm not getting into all the logistics because I don't feel like arguing on this app, and I will not argue. I will block you. And what makes it so bad is that I think, like, Republicans and Democrats, I think they're like all out of the office. I don't know. And what's even worse is that there's so many people on here, people who don't understand. They're like, oh, why don't the TSA workers just not come to work? Why don't the, the freaking air traffic controllers don't come to work? People don't realize they have a government contract. If they do not come to work, they could be liable. They could sue them. I mean, it's so much they can't even get unemployment. These people can't even get another job because it's against their government contract. So the only thing they can do is a gig job, and that doesn't pay anything. So I don't feel like there's enough attention on the fact that there are millions of government contracted workers who are not being paid and who are expected to show up to work. No gas money, no lunch money. They have to go to work and then go home and think about, oh, I don't have any money to buy dinner tonight because I haven't gotten paid in 35 days. Like, I just don't understand it. Like, if you want to fight for your country, don't use this at the expense of other people's lives and other people's livelihood. Go to the military. Like, all of the people who are agreeing with this, why don't you join the military? If you really want to serve, if you really want to fight for your country, join the military. There you go. But using this as leverage at the expense of other people's lives is utter bullshit. Like, it's fucking shit, bro. Like, just realizing that right now, being able to pay for your own groceries, even if it's a little bit of groceries, is a luxury right now because there's so many people who just can't. It makes me sick to my fucking stomach, honestly. Like, I've been keeping up with this shit, and I don't even understand how anybody can really talk about anything else on this platform right now. I don't give a fuck about any beef or drama. That is, like, insignificant and irrelevant to what the bigger picture is. And the big picture is that there are people out here suffering right now. They don't know how they're going to get their next meal. Their baby doesn't have milk. Their dogs don't have dog food. They don't have gas in their fucking car. They don't have enough money to buy their medicine. Like, it's just so much nuance in this entire situation. Like, it's famine, bro. It's real life famine. And, like, I'm going to talk about this no matter how many views it does or does not get. I'm going to talk about this shit because this shit really pisses me the fuck off. Like, it's so...
Grocery stores cannot offer SNAP recipients benefits that the general public are not entitled to because of the rules of the SNAP program. It's not because the Trump administration does not want SNAP recipients to receive discounts. They can receive discounts, but the entire public must receive those same discounts. Now, there is a waiver that these grocery stores may apply for to get around that rule. It's absolutely wild to me that the people who scream Donald Trump is a lawbreaker and a felon are the same people upset at him for enforcing the law. You truly cannot make this stuff up, folks. The hypocrisy is rich, deep, and thick. I feel so sorry for so many people because, believe it or not, there are people who have no idea that these are merely rules of the SNAP program. They actually think the president just do not want them receiving discounts because they receive SNAP. Y'all have a wonderful Tuesday. God bless each and every one of you.
It makes me sick to my stomach to see how SNAP benefits are being held hostage and used as a leverage point while there is a cat fight in Congress, because real people will and are struggling because of it. And that's not rage bait. That's real. The government shut down October 1st because Congress couldn't agree on federal spending. It is still shut down, which means Congress can't release federal funds for the new year. But this affects different programs differently. For example, Federal workers immediately stop being paid. Discretionary programs are paused for now because they haven't received new funding. But SNAP is different. It's an entitlement program, which means it has a permanent fixture in law, and it also means that you are legally entitled to those benefits if you qualify for them. That's why all the legal challenges are coming up, because it's an entitlement program. What do you mean you can't give out the benefits for them? But the funding doesn't just come out of thin air. During funding lapses like this, SNAP uses carryover funds from the last year. That's what they were doing for the month of October. And they also have a contingency fund, which is a huge point of contention right now. So as the carryover funds run out, which usually they wouldn't run out, but this is going on the longest government shutdown in history. As those funds run out, logically, they would dip into the contingency funds, which is a $5 billion pot of money held within USDA in case of emergency. Formerly, the administration had the stance that they were going to dip into the contingency funds. They changed that stance, and they came up with a lot of excuses for why they weren't going to do it. They said that it's only for use in specific emergencies. They said that it's only to be used to top up SNAP benefits in emergencies, not to cover benefits entirely. They also said that it wouldn't be enough to cover the full month's benefits of November, which is about $8-9 billion. So that's true, but why not even try? Why be like, it's not gonna cover all 8 billion, so how about we just use 0? That doesn't make sense to me. The real slap in the face about all of this is that the administration went out of its way to find funding to pay the military and ICE, for example, during this government shutdown, using private donor money, pooling funding from random resources like research funding to pay for the military and ICE. But when it comes to administering funds for an entitlement program that are kind of already there in a contingency fund, oh no, the well has run dry. That's quite a slap in the face. The administration has been picking and choosing what to fund during the government shutdown and proving that they can because nobody can stop them, which demonstrates to me that they don't really have an incentive to open back up the government at all, because they can fund what they want to fund. And do they really care about SNAP being slashed? They slashed SNAP in the big beautiful bill. They made work requirements stricter. They removed exemptions for veterans and houseless folks. They slashed nutrition programs. They slashed like 180 billion sum from SNAP over the next 10 years. So they can pick and choose to not fund it. 2 federal judges ordered that the administration and USDA tap into those contingency funds and give people the benefits that they deserve. The administration replied, okay, eventually maybe. And USDA said that it could take weeks to months to transfer funds from that contingency fund to people. So in many ways, it's already too late. People that were relying on that funding to pay for food for their families for November already don't have it. Food banks are stretched thin. They are going to have a tremendous time making up for the food assistance that SNAP provided. Your neighbors, 1 in 8 people receive SNAP benefits. So you, a family member, or somebody on your street, somebody you know is probably making hard sacrifices thinking about how they're going to eat. If you have stability, time, funds, know what's going on, donate to your local food banks. A lot of resources are being circulated in our social media circles, but think about how to increase and simplify that visibility to folks that might need it. You could research those food banks, figure out the ones that are in a 1-mile radius of your neighborhood, and print it out and put it on a neighborhood bulletin board. It is frustrating, and it shouldn't be on us to make up for it when the government falls behind and can't provide the resources it's promised. But the government is already proving that we can't really rely on it much anymore. It's proving its record-breaking ineptitude. So it might be on us, and we can do it. I know a lot of bad stuff is going on. A lot of overwhelmingly stupid stuff is going on. A lot of it is rage bait. The ballroom, rage bait. It's a stupid show of wealth and power. Don't get lost in the little rage baity things that is inevitably going to be coming out of the administration always. He had a little Gatsby party. Oh, you're annoying as people are struggling, and you are like dancing on their miseries. And let me leave you with this. It is not a Democrat program. There is no such thing as a Democrat program or a Democratic agency. If you hate providing for the most vulnerable, why don't you just come out and say that?
Hey y'all, so I was watching the news this morning and I wanted to let y'all know the important information that I seen on the news this morning. So it has been approved for people that receive food stamps to at least get half of their benefits this month. So it has been said by the end of this week that the benefits will start to load to your card. Now, I don't know if you receive your benefits on a day that's not in the end of this week. I don't know if it's going to load on that certain day that you get them or if it's going to load by the end of this week. The only thing that I am doing is reporting what I seen on Fox 13 News this morning. I'm just letting you all know so you will know and you do have an update about it. So, that is the update. Now, to me, what I don't understand, somebody was calling, but what I wanted to say is, what I don't understand about all this is, why is this man so low down? Why is the Trump administration so fucking low down? It took for a judge to sue this man. It took for cities to sue this man. He didn't approve this out of the kindness of his heart. And that just says a lot about his character. And for people to be out here laughing, saying that people need to go get a job, welcome to the real world, get up off your lazy ass, blah, 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 talking about a whole bunch of shit that they don't know nothing the fuck about, just yapping and misinformed. Because, bitch, I work 40 hours every motherfucking week. Bitch, 80 hours every 2 weeks. And, bitch, I receive food stamps. And I make decent. So what the fuck are you bitches talking about? All of y'all need to shut the entire fuck up. Zip your motherfucking lips if you don't know what the fuck you talking about. It says a lot about your character as well. To laugh at children that was gonna be hungry, and to laugh at families that need the help. It's fucked up. And everybody that's doing it voted for him. So we already understand why they're doing it. I mean, that's all we need to know. You voted for him. We already know. But anyway, for only half to be approved, but a $300 million ballroom is being built in the White House that you won't be in 3 years. Yeah. I don't understand why only half was approved, and I don't understand why people are out here laughing. Y'all are some disgusting individuals, and you make me sick. You make me sick. Go get a clean heart. Go talk to God, because y'all are some sick motherfuckers out here. But anyway, y'all, it's going to be a beautiful day. Happy Tuesday. And yeah, you will receive at least half of your benefits. We don't know when the other half is coming. Bye, y'all. Just wanted to let y'all know that.
As the president is fighting to withhold funding from SNAP, there's been a lot of talk about abuse and fraud in the system. So you'd be happy to know that the Government Accountability Office did do a review of SNAP recipients to determine who was getting those benefits and how they were being spent. And do you know what they found? About 70% of SNAP recipients are working. They're working, but wages are not keeping up with the cost of living. These are people who are doing everything you're asking them to do, but they still can't make ends meet. That is a policy failure, not a personal failure. So before you get on and saying, hey, we need to cut SNAP because of all this fraud and abuse, what kind of fraud and abuse is happening that a person working full-time in the world's richest country cannot put food on the table without help? That's the real fraud and abuse. But these people need help. And there's no reason for Trump to appeal to courts telling him that he has to release that emergency funding. He's fighting to not feed people. This is absurd.
Donald Trump can do whatever the fuck he want to do at this point, bro. Yesterday, they just said that they was going to release a reduced version of the SNAP benefits, right? By 50%. Now, this dude then came out and said that he ain't going to pay nothing until the government shutdown until the government is reopened, and it's because of the radical left. This dude done freaking made food stamps and SNAP benefits and stuff like that a goddamn power move. That's literally what he did, bro. Imagine weaponizing people starving for your own ego, bro. The radical left. It's the radical left. Bro, the left ain't even doing nothing, fam. The cause of all the problems right now is the right. Take some accountability, playboy. Boy, I tell you, like I said, Trump can do whatever the heck he want to do. This man ain't a president. This man a motherfucking dictator. Damn near.
Caroline Leavitt and Donald Trump's agriculture secretary are putting out conflicting statements to Donald Trump's ranting, raving threats to the Democrats to open up the government or he won't release SNAP benefits. They're saying that they're complying with court orders. Before you go in the comment section and say that money doesn't exist anymore, I am fully aware. I've made multiple videos about it. Hear me out a little bit more before you just stop the conversation right there at that point. They're saying that this is a complicated process and it could take weeks to release these funds to states. Basically meaning no one's going to get paid SNAP benefits in November, despite what that judge says. Releasing these reserve funds would be a cumbersome process that could result in a weeks-long delay in food stamp payments going out to recipients. But don't worry, if the government opens, families get their full benefit much more quickly. This is literally the exact word-for-word extortion that Donald Trump was referencing on his Truth Social post to the radical left Democrats. They're all saying the same thing. Regardless of whether it's Donald Trump and his dementia-ridden, ranting, raving threats on Truth Social, or Caroline Leavitt trying to paint this as if they're being completely lawful and following court orders, they're all saying the same thing. No American is getting their SNAP benefits in November unless the radical left Democrats agree to their terms for ending the government shutdown. I mean, I don't think they actually want the government open back up again. The government shutdown is the coup. If you think about it, it's actually insane what they're doing with this money. They're claiming that it's going to be delayed paying out these emergency funds because this is not what we're supposed to use them for. But in an emergency, they're supposed to be paid out immediately because it's an emergency.